Thank you. Good evening, all our esteemed members of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, and also all our ophthalmic colleagues and also non-ophthalmologists who are joining us today from all corners of India and beyond. I think this is a absolutely, let's say, a very remarkable day for us, and this is one of the most unique sessions that has been started for MOS Legions this year under the leadership of our president, Dr. Agarwal sir. And we are extremely happy from scientific committee to take it forward. And we are extremely honored today to have our own MOS Legion, not only MOS Legion, not only All India Ophthalmic Society or National Legion, but he is a global Legion. Dr. S. Natarajan sir here with us. So Dr. Natarajan sir's journey is, let's say, is not merely a timeline of achievements, but this is typically a very beautiful tapestry which is woven with a lot of dedication, a lot of passion, and of course, unparalleled expertise that we have seen. We have seen his clinical prowess, his surgical finesse, but also the pearls of wisdom that he has cornered all through his career, so many years and years of his ophthalmic practice, a lot of philanthropic work. And we are going to learn from all this experience, all this journey today. And we are extremely going to be happy and illuminated with the path shown by our own Dr. S. Natarajan sir today. So, as the chairman of the scientific committee of MOS, it is indeed an honor for me to basically welcome all our members to this amazing life story of one and only Dr. S. Natarajan. So before we go further, I would like to now invite Dr. Agarwal sir, our president of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, to give his welcome address, and then we will move forward. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Vardhaman. Respected Dr. Natarajan sir, our distinguished guests, esteemed MOS members, dear colleagues and friends. Very good evening, greetings and warm welcome to this unique webinar of today's legendary masterclass. Let's learn from the legends. The very purpose of this webinar is to know our own legends in regards to their academics, lifestyle, and their message for all of us. Padma Shri Professor Dr. Natarajan doesn't need any introduction as such. He is the most young, dynamic, enthusiastic, agile, acclaimed academician across the globe. He has raised India's glory throughout the world. He is not only a master of academics, but also a skillful leader. He is a good friend of everyone, academician. His presence is well reflected in every gathering. So today we are going to unravel the mystery of his virtues and personality. Sir, we are eager to learn and imbibe the unknown facts of your life. I am sure your vast experiences would definitely touch upon our mind and enlighten us. Thank you for sharing your valuable time for this webinar. Thank all my teammates, especially Dr. Vardhaman, for making this webinar possible. Thank you so much. Over to Vardhaman, please.
Thank you so much, sir. And as you have aptly said, sir is a friend to everybody, and I have seen right from the residents to the chiefs of the best institutes in the world, sir has equal amount of fondness and equal amount of, let's say, empathy and friendship with everybody. So basically, it is an honor for me to introduce a figure whose legacy transcends the boundaries of traditional success we have all seen. Beyond Dr. Natarajan sir's clinical and surgical acumen, his life story is definitely a testament to both resilience and perseverance, as well as pursuit of excellence in every single thing that he has set his eyes on throughout his career. And of course, I have been extremely lucky to know him for, I think, more than, I'm now, let's say, I know him more than 3 decades, 35 years now. Probably I met him first time when I was probably just 4, 5 year old. And we have a very interesting incidents when actually when Dr. Nati sir had come to visit us, I had a small indirect ophthalmoscope on my head which couldn't fit, and I actually took a nice photograph with the lens and my indirect, and with Dr. Nati as I was examining as if I was doing his IO. So it is amazing. And I've seen him from that time. And I think the friendliness that he has shown to a small child that I was that time to even now and throughout my journey has been a testament to what kind of person he is. Of course, as Dr. Agarwal sir said, Dr. Natarajan sir does not need an introduction. I think to introduce him will be belittling what he has done throughout his life. And actually, if you look at his biodata, it is 214 pages. So if we have to sit through this, we will have to dedicate one webinar every day throughout the year just to get to know what he has achieved in life. But just to give you a small bird's eye view about this great man's work, Padma Shri Dr. Professor S. Natarajan sir is Chief of the Clinical Services at the Aditya Jodh Eye Hospital and the Chief of the Veterinary Services globally at the Agarwal Group of Eye Hospitals. Sir has had held many positions, but he was educated in some of the best institutes around the world. He had his MBBS from the Madras Medical College in 1980s, had his DO in ophthalmology in University of Madras in Chennai in 1984. He joined the Fellowship of Vitreoretina Surgery at the prestigious Shankar Nethralaya under the tutelage of none other than the legendary Dr. S.S. Badrinath. He was bestowed with FAICO from the All India Collegium of Ophthalmology, has been bestowed with DSc honoris causa from Chennai in 2017, has been bestowed with FRCS Glasgow in 2018, has been bestowed with the Fellow of European Latino American Society of Ophthalmology Fellows in 2019, and has been also bestowed with the Fellow of International Council of Ophthalmology. Sir has held so many positions throughout his career. And if I have to really enlist the number of societies that Sir has formed and he has presided over, I think one webinar will not be definitely enough. But just to tell you, of course, Sir has held very important positions at the Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, which is our home ground, as advisor, as the chairman of the scientific committee, as the president, as the secretary, and as the chief editor of Blink newsletter as well. He has held position at AIOS level at almost all most important positions, including president, of course, chairman scientific committee, chairman of ARC, member scientific committee. He has been the president of Asia Pacific Ophthalmic Trauma Society. He is currently the global secretary of the Global Eye Genetic Consortium, for which we had held the International Congress last year under the aegis of MOS. That was all effort by Dr. Natarajan and also Dr. John Prakash. He has been the General Secretary of the Asian Eye Genetic Consortium, Shankar Nethralaya Alumni Honorary President since 2010. He has been the President of the Teleophthalmology Society of India, Eye Cancer Society of India, ARVO Global Mentorship Program. But the most important thing I would like to tell you is that he has been recently adjunct as the treasurer of the International Council of Ophthalmology, which is a global position held for the first time ever by an Indian ophthalmologist. So I think let's give him a big hand of applause because of all these amazing achievements. Of course, further on, Sir has been given very prestigious awards. If I again go through the list of awards, it runs in hundreds. But some of the most important one was Guinness Book of World Record, which was done for the maximum number of diabetic eye screenings done in the biggest slum of India, which is Dharavi. The Achievement Award in Eye and Vision Advocacy Award, which was given by the prestigious ARVO. Dr. Natarajan sir is only one of the two charter inductees of the Retina Hall of Fame, which is the global recognition for his expertise. And he shares it with his mentor, with our mentor, with the legendary Dr. S.S. Badrinath sir. He has received the state award as for his meritorious service, and he has received one of the biggest awards which are given to the civilians in India, which is the Padma Shri. So I think with this very short introduction, I think first let us clap for Dr. Natarajan sir for all these amazing achievements. And further on, now before we go to his life journey, we would like to learn some clinical aspects also from Dr. Nati. So in the next 15 minutes, we are going to see through what, as an expert in vitreoretina, sir has to make comprehensive ophthalmologists be aware. So what is the best that we should know from this legend? Over to you, Dr. Nati, sir.
Thank you, Vardhaman. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you, Dr. Aditi, Atul, and Mandar, and my friends John and Arul. So thanks for this great thing from MOS, and I'm really Maharashtra as my karma bhumi. Even though I'm born in Madurai, studied in Chennai, Madras that time. So I moved in '84. So I'll share the screen for this talk. The
Sure.
one for the young ophthalmologist as our can see the screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is the you wanted, right? So the posterior segment advancement that the comprehensive ophthalmologist should know, right? Uh, Vardhaman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you can see my screen. So this is what he wanted me to talk, the posterior segment advancement that and a regular eye doctor should know. I think this is what I learned from Dr. Charles Keepens, and he had put it in his research book as well as to all the patients of who are actually going blind or blind. Never say never again to a patient. And I think that's my mentor's mentor. I'm glad I met him, and I'm a part of the Keepens alumni also. And this is Dr. Skippens, and that's the Skippens Research Institute in Boston. And he's a mentor's mentor and father of retinal detachment surgery in the 1950s when he modified the binocular ophthalmoscope and made an implant scleral buckling surgery. So he told that like patients like retinitis pigmentosa, Stargardt's, who are going blind, never tell them, never say again from the 60s when he was practicing, but now you know there are treatments coming. So the advancements are the fundus camera, and we have so many varieties now where the fundus camera is constantly coming intricate. The one which has the fundus photography, we have the fundus autofluorescence, which is everybody should know where, which is a non-invasive and a quick method to assess the function of the retinal pigment epithelium. When myself and Arumali Varman studied the graduate in ophthalmology in 82 to onwards, we mugged up the 10 layers of retina, and we never knew that one day we'll be able to analyze them and do also treatment. So the other is the invention, which is done by Carmen Pulfiato, and I'm happy I introduced the OCT first in India in 2000, followed by the others in India, where OCT provides the cross-sectional image of retina, the back layer, and you can see the cross-section, which now it's a must for when the fundus looks normal, but if the vision cause is not known. I think many ophthalmologists are advising, and I think OCT is an important investigation which has to be done. And now we have OCT angiography. OCT angiography allows for non-invasive detection of blood flow and 3D representation of vasculature. As you see here, the superficial layer, the middle layer, and the deep layer. And here, when people, I don't know, it's a misnomer according to me, angiography, because when you use something inside the blood vessel, it will become angiography. But here, by subtraction method, by the your optical subtraction, you're seeing the various layers of the retina and the blood circulation indirectly. And people who have allergy to fluorescent, because there is a anaphylactic reaction can happen 1 out of 100,000. And then these patients who are not willing or afraid of doing now OCT angiography is almost replacing fluorescent angiography. And the other important test which is required to manage, I remember because my father and grandfather ophthalmologist, we used to study the book Parsons, and even now the Parsons is there, the diseases of the eye. In that, my father told me that 50% of the book you can't do anything, and that's where in a way we are specializing, and that's where the general ophthalmologist should know that don't just send the patient that nothing can be done, and also don't say nothing can be done, but you can send, if you don't know, send to a retina specialist wherever. I'm sure all of them are well trained now. We have several institutes doing retina fellowship. Better to make sure that the patient is the one who is gaining and not any of the individual practitioners. So when you're in doubt, please refer to a retina specialist. And some patients we need to do electroretinogram, which measures the electrical response of the retina to the light. And I always I explain to the patient that it is like doing an ECG for heart. This shows the ERG for the retina. And here, I mean, I'm not going into the detail. And then fluorescent angiography is available in the 1960s, and Dr. Patnaik introduced one of the pioneers in who was no more, but later Dr. Badrinath and many Dr. Nakpal who have popularized it. And Fluorescent angiography requires the use of a dedicated fundus camera equipped with exaptation and barrier filter. Fortunately, we have now Indian cameras, even made by I think Apasami and Remedio. We can do fluorescent, where you do the fluorescent dye is injected, and we also make sure that the physician is available as a standby and make sure that if there's an anaphylactic reaction, we can treat the patient so that we are because it's rare, but it can happen. And then the other is indocyanine green angiography because the fluorescent, some details are given for the superficial part of the retina. But if you want to study the choroid and the blood flow, we need indocyanine green angiography and specifically for studying the central serous retinopathy. Because everything in retina is not 2 plus 2 is not equal to 4. And that's the reason, in spite of having AI and chat GPT, and sometimes patients read a lot and come, and still at our level of experience we have problems. So sometimes you have to do several investigations. Sometimes the patient feels you are unnecessarily investigating. That's why we have as a general ophthalmologist, you have to be aware that these investigations are required. But which patient you have to do and no need to do, you have to, I think, leave it to the retina specialist. And now we have a lot of handheld cameras where which is a low cost, and the big advantage of the handheld is it's small in size, it's portable, but even though it's looking portable and you need a steady hand. And the disadvantage with the camera is that it is difficult to get good quality images if cataract or other media are present. But nevertheless, for a media patient with the media, where if you have to do screening, this is the best available. There are several cameras, including the Remedio, which is made in Bangalore and by a company. And then there's also smartphone based camera systems, which is we have the special adapters which make it possible to use a smartphone as a fundus cameras, and this is a cheap way to image retina. In several studies, a smartphone based retinal camera has shown similar results to a desktop fundus camera. So I think again, whatever you do, these are all available for a general ophthalmologist also. And now the most cameras we mentioned above provide a field of view between 30 and 45 degree. This is suitable to identify diseases that affect posterior pole like diabetic retinopathy, age-related macular degeneration. However, there's a possibility of missing lesions in the retina periphery. And AI is now in a lot in the diagnosis of retinal condition, and AI and deep learning system have the potential to improve screening, coverage, and resource constraint settings. And I remember whenever I talk using the offline AI in Remedio, which we work with a company called Medios, I'm happy we have the first publication in the world in JAMA in 2019. But still, it's not going to replace an ophthalmologist or anybody or an optometrist. And the idea is to diagnose and send the patient for treatment to the retina specialist. And here in the deep learning system, neural networks read labels of images with the normal and abnormal finding. It then starts to recognize patterns and groups similar images of a particular diagnosis. More the number of images sets, higher the precision and accuracy. And that's why the still Google and Microsoft are working on it, because it uses the internet, and the Remedio, which uses offline. That means the images are there in the phone itself. But it can be a good assistant. That's why there is an WhatsApp joke that if you are using a robotic surgery and the patient goes to the cash counter and says, "Why should I pay the surgeon's fees?" The robot has done the surgery. So I think we have to be careful in what we are telling to the patient. It is a robotic assisted surgery, and that's how. And the same thing with AI. So AI is not going to replace the doctor. And even though AI is given, when your patient is going to be treated, it's the responsibility of the retina specialist or the ophthalmologist to continue. And so this is what I mentioned. The Remedio has developed this computer. Usually they use a computer, but they are using the iPhone to accept retina picture properly taken by a non-skilled worker. That means you can train anybody. That's what I made it as a ABCD. Anybody can screen for diabetic retinopathy. We can train them to take this one skill and use this, and they can compare the phone can compare the thousands of previously provided diabetic retinopathy pictures with the label, and based on that notify the staff which patient needs to be referred to an ophthalmologist, and it's labeled as referable diabetic retinopathy. And the advantage of the handheld is it can be mounted on a suitable bike. It can be mounted on a table like a set lamp, and both the mobile phone and the infrared device can be charged, so that you can go to a remote place. If there's no electricity, no internet, still you can use the AI. But the rest of the AI which is available from Google or Microsoft or any other company needs internet for the comparing the image with the stored image. And this is the Remedio camera which were used, where you can see the fellow can focus. It is like a school dropout. We have trained him. He can take a good photograph like this, and that he has puts the image into the AI software. That's a tick mark you see, and this is the media software, which is it says that this is how the blue color will recognize which is abnormal color, and then picks up the from the standard images given from various retinopathy and labels, and you can see the confidence as 99%. That means the photograph is quality is good. So I think this way, this much the boy has to do. He need not be illiterate, or he need not know English. And I think most of the people in India use a smartphone to use GPay or Phone Pay, where they can use this and support the healthcare for India. And Forus is another company. And thanks to Mr. Chandrasekhar, who's there in the picture to my left in the bottom picture, where my grandmother, late grandmother, who inaugurated it in 2014. At that time, she was probably some 90 plus. And we can see my late father, Dr. N. S. Sundaram, and my best friend Shivanandan and Mr. Ravichandran is there, where we put this thanks to the that time the first eye screening on the wheels. That means in the motorbike, we can take healthcare to a doorstep, either in a slum or in a village or in any bumpy road. We can take them, and this is what we have introduced. So you can see the boy will carry this is the hardware of the uh, is kept in the back, in the main bike, and then the optics are kept in the backpack, and then you can see the bumpy road also. He's taking the machine from there and taking it to the Dharavi, and he can assemble and reassemble, and takes about 10 minutes. And thanks to Forrest, who now also come out with the AI, you can see this boy is a 9th standard pass, and he can take a beautiful picture. And then we have trained optometrist. She's an optometry intern who can take it. So we can use any camera to take picture and make sure that the only disadvantage is you are taking optic disc and the center of macula, but there is a possibility that peripheral retinal lesions can be left. And the other latest, which is available, like is a 3D digital microscope. I'm happy one of the pioneers in to use this. This is a Zeiss. I don't have any financial interest. This is a size RTO I have, and this is the idea is to have excellent view. It has a digital assistance. I don't have the intraoperative OCT. Still, I think I'm using the microscope and I can see the fine layers of retina, but OCT will help to identify the finer layers of retina, like the internal limiting membrane. It's also available for the anterior segment and I'm happy now the Apasami, it's make in India, make for India. They have made a true glow 3D video microscope. I'm sure they are also expensive compared to the regular microscope, but I'm happy we have a full HD and 4K resolution in the Apasami 3D system. And this is a new system which I saw, a company called Ocutrex, which is from US. And I met this engineer in Frankfurt last year, this year, and still they don't have FDA approval and CE marking. I believe this person's father has a macular degeneration, and his father wanted to make both his sons work on engineers to work on how to improve, and they have somehow come out with a 3D surgical visualization theater. They have the thing called Camtrex. A digital microscope captures live surgery feed, which is displayed to three visualization shows depending on the surgeon's preference. They also have the OR lens, which is we can see the surgery in the headset, where my friend Dr. Anat Lowenstein is trying in Israel. And there's a stereo. This is what I like: stereo lens, 8K 3D glasses free monitor. You can imagine you can directly see the monitor like what you're seeing the computer screen, and then do the surgery. And this is the Other one is from Bosch and Lomb. It's like a fantasy, but it's available. Bosch and Lomb has got, I think, is getting the again the FDA approval and CE marking in Europe, which is made by Bosch and Lomb and Heidelberg together, and they call it C-Luma. It's a full digital visualization where they have made a central C loop so that you can see the microscope straight. Because otherwise you have to look like this and operate. So instead of keeping the hair, they call it heads-up surgery instead of looking into the binocular, which now that you can see like a 70 mm. But here you can see directly, but right now we are seeing at the angle. And now this is a other one, which is called the DRV, where it's a really a thing which is, you can see there's no glass. You can see it in the 3D without glass. And the only thing is like a watch maker or a fine instrument they made. So it's only useful in the dry lab now, not in the operation theater. And this is the C loop by, you can see I'm using Alberta for making the bionic eye, and I'm going to use the C Luma, the bottom of microscope lab. And it's a 3D wet lab, and there's an excellent view, beautiful view. So I'm making the procar. So actually, you can directly see with the 3D glass, and and then whatever you can see instead of taking the head this way, so that can have again a neck pain. But the answer, one of the thing they introduce is they say this is ergonomically designed so that you will not have problem. But I suggest that all surgeons should use do exercise, which I'll be talking in the next part of the question and answer. Where here you have to sit erect and make sure you do exercise for the antagonist and protagonist muscle so that you don't have the neck problem or the lumbar problem. And there are a lot of drugs available. We all know ranibizumab, bevacizumab, which is off-label, and now the current treatment is aflibercept, which is Eylea, and then faricimab is a new one, which is still probably will be introduced this month. Faricimab is a novel combined mechanism inhibitor that binds both angiopoietic angio2 and VEGF-A with high specificity and affinity. And this is the new drug, Syfovre, which is a PEG setup couplan under the brand name Syfovre is available, which is a first FDA approved for dry macular degeneration, geographical atrophy. Fortunately, India does not have, but please don't tell the patient nothing can be done. But if you see the results, this has only a 20% success rate, and the success rate, unfortunately, is being calculated by the saying that the photoreceptor layer is maintained. That means we use the autofluorescence and OCT to study, and patient may not see any difference. And we have to give monthly injection. And one of my chairman of a pharmaceutical company wanted this. And when I told the drug to be imported, it's a 28.5 lakhs an injection because so much of tax is there because it's not available in India. And as a surgeon, I can order, but the patient can give a consent and do it. But 28 lakh injection into 12 months, into maybe 24 months, it's not worth it. But fortunately, geographical atrophy is less. And there is, I'm also in the part, this is a new drug, Avacin Captad Pegol, is a pegylated RNA aptamer that specifically inhibits complement 5 for another drug for the geographical atrophy. And they say there's a decrease in the mean geographical atrophy growth rate by 28.1% and 95% for the 2 milligram and 4 milligram group, respectively, over a period of 18 months. Actually, all this is studied only by the patient may not find any improvement in vision. It's only preventing the photoreceptor loss. And both are new therapeutic agents, specifically drained, but still, I think we have to wait for. Luckily, India does not have that much compared to the US and the Europe. And this is another latest approved in the US and Europe. Luxturna is a medicine that is used to treat adults and children with loss of vision due to inherited retinal dystrophy, a rare genetic disorder of the retina, which is the first one approved by FDA, which contains active substance oritogen neparavac, and is type of advanced therapy medicine called a gene therapy product. And gene therapy indicated for the treatment of patients with confirmed biallelic RPE65 mutation associated retinal dystrophy. I have a lot of RP patients, but unfortunately, I won't say unfortunately, but I remember two patients were ready. It is about 4 crore for each eye. You have to do a vitreoretinal surgery and inject this product, gene therapy product, in the subretinal space. And Robert McLaren, my friend in UK and in US, they are doing it. It's actually made by Genentech and marketed by Novartis in the rest of the world. In India, still not approved. And it is as a single injection. It's not just an injection. You have to do a vitreoretinal surgery where you can see this is how the three-port pars plana vitrectomy is done. And then you have to inject the new gene. DNA is delivered to retinal pigment epithelium layer. And that's how we make a bleb in the macular region and then inject the drug. And then the DNA is injected to a vector. And that's how a new gene DNA is used for treating. But the cost is 4 crores, something like 400,000 US dollars for one eye. And how many patients can afford? But that's how the science and the research is. We have to, they put money, but I think one day, hope we will make something indigenous in India. And then this 27 gauge, again, thanks to Tano and group, that is Oshima, my friend, Japan introduced, and myself and Mark Humayun introduced the 25 gauge first in India, micro incision vitreoretinal surgery in 2004, and 27 gauge later in 2010, where it's the smallest keyhole surgery of the eye. But again, because it's a 27 gauge, we actually have a lot of the instrument may bend, and in India we like to use it after sterilizing it, and again, which is a difficult part to use the 27 gauge. And you can see this, now they come out with the 27 plus to show that you can it will not bend much, but you have to be very delicate. So it will make you more delicate surgery. So this is a 27 gauge where I'm doing a membrane peeling, and it's the smallest thing. I can also inject silicone oil, and you can see I'm removing the membranes from the surface of the retina using the 27 gauge. And then you can use a perfluorocarbon liquid, then do perfluorocarbon liquid silicone oil exchange. So I think the idea is that whatever latest is, fortunately, I'm happy we have it. But again, we have to see how we can do it at the best rate for our own Indian patients. And also, I'm happy, thanks to Government of India, under the BIRAC, the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council, we have established a clinical trial network. Thanks to my colleagues, Dr. Gopal Pillai from Amrita and the Chitrakoot, then Trivandrum Medical College, then Patna Medical College. It's a great initiative by Government of India, where we are focusing on 6 diseases now. Started with 3 retinal diseases: diabetic retinopathy, age-related macular degeneration, choroidal neovascular membrane, retinal vein occlusion, and this is what we have done. And this is what the article which I mentioned, that about the using the offline AI. This was the most viewed article in 2019, and that's the article is diagnostic accuracy of community-based diabetic retinopathy screening with an offline AI system on a smartphone, which is the first of its kind in the world. And we have published in IGO with more patients, and then we have done a Guinness record, as Dr. Vardhaman said. This is 649 diabetic patients, 53 were diagnosed, and we got this certification. And then I'm glad the Caltech Institute of Technology came yesterday. I'm sure Dr. John will be happy to know that. And it is headed by Mark Humayun and another Nobel laureate from Caltech Institute of Technology. And at present, they are making the newest generation of bionic eye, which is a retinal chip. This is the epiretinal chip. Germany did a subretinal, and suprachoroidal was done by Australia. But still, I think practically it's a problem, but one thing is with this retinal implant can be connected to a video camera to convert images into electrical impulse through the infrared without connection, and that activate the remaining retina cells which carry the signal back to the brain. But it looks like a science fiction. If you see Arnold Schwarzenegger will remove one eye and put it in the other eye. Similar to that, it looks, but it's not so simple. You have to do advanced retinal surgery to do that. And this is how the chip is placed and how there's the receiver camera. So we can have, and I'm happy Mark Mine is one of the PhD in a, apart from a MD in retina, and he's a fellowship from Johns Hopkins and he worked with the Macmer also. And then you can see he's the one who's developed. He got the highest award from Barack Obama, president of the America at that time. And conclude, there are ophthalmology is an exciting field, and I want ophthalmologists to know that retina is one of the most fascinating. And as a general ophthalmologist, at least don't tell the patient, I don't know, but you can tell you may have some problem. I don't know what I'm seeing. You send to a colleague, make sure the patient gets the best available. And fortunately, I'm in Maharashtra, and we have anybody can visit us, and basic skill can be improved at any stage. And acquisition of newer skills and equipments accelerate the patient flow. Thanks to my optometrist Sanjali, who I call her as a consultant optometrist, and my IT head who helped me to prepare this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think definitely, I think the main idea was for the comprehensive ophthalmologist to learn from your vast experience what they should know of. And I'm sure that this presentation would have given them a great better view about what is the current status of vitreoretina practice in India, globally. And what you have rightly said is that never say no to the patient. So never say, always give them hope, never say them a denial for anything. So I think that was a great message for all, especially all young ophthalmologists. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this presentation. So, sir, when we have seen, basically, of course, now we know you as a great legend who has achieved so much. But as I think we know, and as we were discussing, in early childhood, I think you were somebody like a late boomer, and you had some health issues. You actually started to speak much later in life, which is difficult for us to understand. So, basically, can you just tell us about your early childhood, please?
Yeah, so I actually was, I have a presentation in the sense I'll just go through it and quickly keep talking about it. So thanks, Vardhaman, for remembering and asking that. There's a lot, even Arul knows me from my school, but I think he doesn't know this particular thing. I think you can see my screen. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we can see it.
1 second, I think presentation.
Yeah, and we are very happy to be joined by Dr. Arul Modi Varman sir, Dr. Mohan Rajan sir, Dr. John Prakash sir, and even Dr. Shivananda, Mr. Shivanand sir, who has IPS. Yes, welcome.
Hi, good evening.
Sir, good evening. Good evening, Mohan.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Mohan sir. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Santosh. Present.
Thank you. Vardhavan.
Yes, sir.
John Prakash sir also wants to share some slide.
Yes,
So
yes.
whenever you get time in between.
So yes.
This is a short thing which what I was saying, that I was born in Madurai on 4th September 1957. And in October, I moved, I think November, I moved to, in the sense, my mother brought me to Chennai because my grandfather was practicing there. And I think I mentioned this to Vardhaman that my mother said that I didn't speak at all. I think probably I only called Amma and not more than that, up to the age of 2.5 years, which I also don't know. Later, my mother told. Now, I think she did all the prayer, and now people have to tell me to stop talking. So that's the and I think everywhere I think whenever if there's a time exceed, you can tell me. So and this is the beginning. That's my parents there. And the other one is I believe I had whooping cough, and I used to get fever often. I don't know why. And then I used to get delirium. That part I remember because we lived in that quarters, and anything in the dark I used to be afraid. And later, I never knew that I'll be operating in the dark for vitreous surgery. But I'm happy now. There is no fear, thanks to my mother and my father, who made me an extrovert. Because my father was an introvert, so his Dr. Chandran Abraham's uncle was my father's teacher, and he used to teach me parts of the eye from the age of 5. So I think that was so you can see I'm wearing tie from my childhood, which is it happened I think accidentally, and you can see my brother, and that's the RMKV family, which is a famous. That's my mother's sister, and here you can see my same grandmother and grandfather were there. Dr. Sunil Parekh, who's now in Ahmedabad, is there in the picture. And this is my picture in the government eye hospital quarters, where you can see as a baby. And I'm grateful. I think that this stage also I was not talking. I think from 2.5 years I talked. Now, so I think this is my school days, and where I'm with my brother wearing my Arul Malivarman's brother. Armugam was my brother's classmate, Shanbag Raman. This was me as an athletic captain. And you can see Professor Kumar brother is here next to me. That was the Dr. Lalita Kameshwaran was the first vice chancellor of Tamil Nadu Medical University, and she was a professor of pharmacology. And I had the first ICMR research project with her. I worked on a drug called furosemide, which is Lasix. I didn't know what it was, but that time we had a ICMR grant of only 300 rupees for doing that research as a student. And we didn't get a patient to inject Lasix. I didn't know what it was. So I remember still they injected Lasix to me and did the first, what is that, echocardiography. And I remember I was pissing the whole day after the Lasix. And then I realized that. So we did it with the cardiac patients also with Dr. Tanika Chilam, because I knew I'm going to be an ophthalmologist. So I worked on pharmacology, I worked in gynecology, and I published that time with on what you call a shake bubble test for amniocentesis I did, and I also did preventive and social medicine. And so all this, I think this is the eye hospital where even Arul's father was the chief, and Mohan's father was my teacher, Dr. Professor Rajan. So he was I was his pet student. Me and Arul were posted with them, and then so this was the I met Dr. Mr. Panidas, where he made that VGP Golden Beach. So when he made the Bhumi Pujan, he told me that you convert your prayer into a dream. Dream into a prayer and tell that daily in the night, and then you can achieve it. So I didn't understand, but somehow I don't know why I had that white skin, whatever respect for them for what reason I don't know. And then at that time, so I said I should become an internationally renowned eye doctor. That was my prayer. Even though my father and grandfather did not travel till 1986, and I think grandfather never traveled abroad, but somehow it came into my mind that I should be internationally renowned, and that happened thanks to late VG Panita. His brother is still alive, VG Sandosham. I thankful to my always to my father, mother, guru is Dr. Badrinath, and my friend Shivanandan. This is the fees I paid. I don't know Arul will remember. I paid 204 rupees, or rather, even Arul also paid for the tuition fees, and only 28 rupees as the whatever the extra fees, and that means 300 and 222 rupees.
330 rupees per term.
Yeah, not per year. It was this is only 204 plus 28, Mohan.
Nothing. I remember 330 rupees for every 4 months we paid. When
Right.
because I was 3 years junior to you, know.
I know. You paid 100 rupees more.
Yes. Correct.
And this was as an athletic captain of Madras Medical College, and I was also football captain. And then this is
So I
all.
think, sir, before we go to the Shankar Nitralaya days, I would like to ask Dr. Arul, sir, because Dr. Arul, sir, has been with you from your
School, yeah.
school days, right? So this is very unique opportunity for us to know, like about you from Dr. Arul, sir. How, Dr. Arul, sir, are you there with us? Are you online? Yes, yes.
Yes, Adhaman, thank you.
Yeah,
And
so please, we would like to know
Natarajan,
from you,
I
from
met
like,
in
how
seventh
was
standard.
Dr. Nati, sir, in his school days, in his college days, and did you really understood, like, of course, you are yourself legendary, but did you really foresee that Dr. Nati will go on to achieve so much in life?
Yeah, coming to that, let's start at the beginning.
Yes.
We met when we were in seventh standard. That's been 12 years old. So we've known each other for 54 years. That sounds really ancient, doesn't it? Okay, Natarajan, even in school, he was a good student. There was no question about that. And he was interested in
I think internet is not good, Arul.
Yeah, I think internet
Though
seems
in school he wasn't into games in a big way. He used to play. Is that so? Oh, okay.
now it is
Just go
better.
down
Now
to a
it is
better place for better. Now it's
yeah.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now it is
good.
better.
So he was actually he used to play football even in school days. But when it came to college, hello,
Yes, sir. You are on
Yes,
now.
yes.
yeah, suddenly Mohan came online. So it came to college, we actually stayed together in school and stayed together in MBBS and DO. And of course, as ophthalmologists, we've stayed together all along. So what you can see about Nati, as you said, he knows how to keep relationships going with friends, with colleagues, with workers, with everybody. This is something that is inculcated from his childhood and keeps it going till today. It's humbling that often he comes over to Chennai to take part in the family functions of our classmates and does it more easily than I do it from Chennai myself. So that amount of effort it takes to keep in touch with people. And he showed right from the word go, like he said, he started doing, publication and papers when he was in third year of MBBS itself. So that kind of drive that he had to going into research and publication is what brings out his 240-page CV. So what he would grow into was definitely evident right from the beginning. He's easygoing, looks like a go-lucky person, but has got his aims very clearly fixed in his mind, and he puts in a whole amount of hard work into it. Putting in hard work and succeeding professionally is quite easy. But to do the same amount of success and the same amount of networking socially is fantastic. That's something that you cannot beat, not yet. Of course, every one of us goes through highs and lows in life, not also has got. But highs and lows didn't matter. He stayed on the top. And he would continue to stay on top. So that would be the insight into Natarajan, who I've known all along. There are so many things that can be very interesting anecdotes, but there'd be too many to say. We've been together and we've been through a lot of things in life. So I enjoyed every moment with Nati, and I'll continue to enjoy that in future.
Great, sir. Thank you, sir. I think it definitely brings that aspect of his, let's say, strive for excellence right from his early days, and also, as you have correctly said, his effort in keeping his network and his social relations going really sets him apart. And I remember once when he told me, because I think I've met him in early days after Shanganitra, and he said, "Where is your card?" And I said, "I'm not carrying my card." So he said that you should have a waterproof card, not only a card that even if you meet somebody underwater, you should give him your card. So that is very classic thing about Dr. Nati. And when we are talking about friendship now, we have a very close friend of Dr. Nati who has been with Sir for such a long time. Of course, he himself is a legendary personality and has been the past DGP of Police Maharashtra, and the very
Good evening,
well
sir.
and respected
Doc, how are you?
Shivanandan. Yes, so we would like to know from you, sir. Thank you, first of all, for joining us through your such a busy schedule. And we would really love to hear from you about Dr. Nati as a friend.
Thank you so much, Doctor, and good evening to all the doctor friends who are assembled here to celebrate a very famous life called Dr. Padma Shri Dr. S. Natarajan. And he is a legendary man, and he is there with us. So he would like to hear some good things. Otherwise, if he was not there, I would have said so many bad things about him. We would all liked it so much. Since he is listening to me, I must say only good things. Right, Nati? So
Yes.
actually, I know Nati only from the year 1988 or so. So we are not friends from the school days or college days and things like that. But Nati remained as a 14, 15-year-old guy even in the year 1988 and continues to be so. So he is young, but I am not. So that is how our friendship has grown. So wherever he did a presentation, I have been watching, he used to start his presentation by saying Mata, Pita, Guru, Mitra, Devam. So that Mitra happens to be me and Guru happens to be Dr. Badrinath, and Mata, Pita are obviously his parents. So this is how Nati began his presentations always. And that is how here it is. Here it is. Here I am there next.
Yes.
Just before God, I am there. So that is how we have been. So one anecdote is that when he used to walk in 88, 18, later, I think 98, 99, wherever we went, I went on postings or transfer or changed house, he used to come for a walk. He never allowed me any freedom of thinking or enjoying my early morning walk alone. So there was a stage when we eliminated all the gangsters and there used to be a shootout by the police, one a day. So Natti's relatives told him, if you go with Shivanandan, you will get a bullet and die. So Natti used to very seriously think about it and ask me. So just to satisfy him, I brought a gun one day. But it was so heavy, I did not carry that. Next day, I abandoned that. So the next day, I brought one gunman, and then I made him to walk behind us. So then that also I got bored, I stopped. But Natti is still thinking, even today he is thinking, what if I was shot and what if he had taken a bullet in his chest? So that remains still a very, very unsolved big mystery as to why Dawood Ibrahim or nobody had shot me. But Natarajan is alive today. Thank God. So talking about friendship, I must say, in all seriousness, Natti is that exemplary character whom Thiruvalluvar remembered 2000 years before perhaps he knew Natti is such a good fellow and such a good friend. So he wrote, Udukkai Ilandavan Kaipola, Ange Idukkan Kalaivadam Natpu. So actually, with all jokes apart, bullets and all apart, Natti is one guy who can be called as a legendary person only because of his devoted, dedicated friendship to all his people. School, the nursery school, college, then all sorts of people. He has a massive list. So much so, every day morning he brings a Mercedes Benz and the driver. Early morning he comes at about 5:30, 5:45. We'll make tea and drive the car. And then I go with him because we have been doing it since 88. Natti promptly will go there in the name of changing his shoes. For about 45 minutes, we'll call all his friends all over the world. So I used to wonder him why such expensive friendship that you come to the gym and not do any gym work. But once in a way he does. Once in a year he does gym work and he'll take video. Like for example, yesterday, very diligently he took all video of what all workouts he did. But basically, my dear friends and doctors, what he does is renewal of friendship. He remembers all of them, calls diligently and talks to them and things like that. That is, at a huge expense. So I salute him for that also. I also must remember an incident or an anecdote, you can say. A common mutual friend of us had to do a surgery, and that was something to do with the pituitary gland. Something to do the nose and the brain. He didn't know anything about it at all. But absolutely due to this friendship, he went there early in the morning. He took permission, went there in the theater, and the doctor was performing. He was supervising that, and he saw to it that whatever the doctor forgot or not forgot, he made him to remember all that, and the successful surgery was done. Point is very simple. Any other valuable time, any other doctor, any other busy doctor would have said, I have nothing to do with this. I can talk to this doctor and see that his surgery goes off well. But here is a friend who, like Thiruvalluvar said, Udukkai Ilandavan Kaibola. Involuntarily, he just goes there and stays there and does whatever he can, come out, brief the family, brief the friends and all that. So hats off, Natti. You are such a good man. Then other thing is, all these people, my friends actually are known to me kind of people, acquaintances. Wherever they meet, they will talk to him, ask, are you an eye surgeon? Natti will tolerate and say yes. They will get a huge fax from America next day and ask for his opinion and all that. He will do. Diligently, he will do whatever he can. And recently in my building, one old lady, actually the boy blew up his eyes by doing some cracker business in Diwali day. Elderly, 23 boys, not a small child or anything. This lady said, yes, he has to talk to the doctor, talk to the patient. And where is the patient? We are in Mumbai. The patient is in Haryana. Natti talked to the doctor and found some relationship that is junior to him in Shankar Nethralaya and all that. Now, yesterday again, they said, okay, now hassle him. And the boy is in Bangalore and some doctor, usse baat karo, usse baat karo. Now, his friendship is with me. That person or the patient or the doctor, none of them are his friends actually. So the lady is an old lady, stays in our building because of that. But look at the way, to the level, to the extent, to the distance he can travel to make people comfortable just because in the name of friendship or acquaintance or contact or whatever you call. For the others, my dear friends, it is a massive help. It's a massive help. They are in trauma. All said and done, all those people who wanted his opinion are in trauma, and this man goes out of the way. Otherwise, any doctor, if I were there, I would have cut and right told them, bloody well, you bring that guy to my clinic, I will examine him and give you opinion. I can't do all this nonsense. That's what I am. People know me as what I am, like that. But whereas our friend goes out of the way and makes them so comfortable and talks to all unknown doctor, very as if he is born with them or he studied with them in the kindergarten and things like that. That is Dr. Natarajan. As far as I am concerned, we have been going through this life from 88 to now. I don't know how many years, but things have been going on so wonderfully well. I know about all his friends. I know about ophthalmology. I know about all the politics, who won the election, who lost the election, who manipulated how and all. It's all properly briefed. So Nati, in short, is basically an embodiment. Basically, is a grammar book. He is the grammar of being how to be a great friend and how to go all out. And at the middle of the night, if there is an issue and if you call, there is one person who will come running and help a friend is Dr. Natarajan. So that way, I salute him. And he is a legend as far as the friendship is concerned. As I mentioned earlier, Thiruvalluvar 2000 years before recognized Nati and wrote about him that Idukkai Ilandavan Kai Pola Ange Idukkan Kalevadam Nattu. This is Dr. Nati, and I salute him for all the good qualities he has as far as maintenance of friendship is concerned, and then continuing the relationship, cultivating new friends and all that. So Nati, may God bless you with a long, long life, very, very healthy life, and may your tribe of your friends grow. May your benevolence for your friends and the others grow more and more. All the best. Thank you very much, Doctor, for giving me this opening. I took longer time. I took longer time than you allotted to me. But I couldn't control. I couldn't control when it comes to talking about my friend, the Padma Shri Dr. Professor S. Natarajan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
wonderful, sir.
This schedule. Thank you so much. It has been enlightening, of course, and thank you so much for sharing your friendship. Let's say, as you have correctly said, I think if we have to define Dr. Nati, apart from ophthalmologist, I think we can always define him as a true friend, and he has been a friend to everybody, and of course, the closest one to you. So, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences with sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiva, and thank
you,
you,
sir. Thank you.
Well done.
So, to bring back Dr. Nati sir from his early college days, as sir had discussed, he was very athletic and he used to win all the tournaments. He used to run 100, 200, 400 meter races, win them back and forth. But I think his life, of course, changed with ophthalmology. And of course, after being in the prestigious MMC, he was now, let's say, under tutelage of none other than Chief Dr. S.S. Badrinath sir in Shankar Nethralaya. So, Dr. Nati sir, we would like to know what are the 5 most important things that you actually have learned from Dr. Badrinath sir.
5 important things. Okay, I think the one is I think the main thing is discipline, and I think he's like a taskmaster. So and I think he was for him. I worked as a fellow from 7:15 in the morning till night 1, and one day we worked up to 4 in the morning, and he'll come back at 7:45 for dressing, and we have done that. And then he will be many times before me. And then as a consultant, we used to meet at 8 o'clock sharp and discuss till 8:15, 8:30 about yesterday's surgery and tomorrow's surgery and OPD or complicated patients. So 5 of us used to see Chandran, Gopal, myself, Dr. Badrinath, and probably Manji Kulni for some time. But they could not keep up the pace with Dr. Badrinath because he was working from morning 8 to night 1 all the time. And I think for him, Shankar Naitala was everything. And I'm happy I had the same schedule as a OPD and OT. Probably I'm the only one who worked day and night with him from 84 to 88. And I think it's there in the YouTube. Maybe I can send the link what he spoke at that time. And the other is, I think, however close you are, I think I was reading this book, autobiography of Yogi, second or third time. In that, Yogananda has written about his guru, Yukteswar. You cannot bribe him with love. So same thing from Dr. Badrinath. The second pearl is whatever you do good, you will be appreciated. Whatever bad you do, you will be punished. And then next minute, he will be very friendly, but he will only not attack into as a person, but I will attack your duty, what you have done. And the same thing I have done. I remember a patient for enucleation first time, that was in 84. And somehow, I don't know what I did. Instead of cutting the optic nerve, I cut the eyeball. And it was a mess. And you know what happens. And when you're truthful, you call him and tell him this happened, you will be absolutely cool. And I think that's another thing. More and more complication is happening, he'll be more and more cool. I remember once, I think Christmas, it was same December 24th, Christmas Eve. He went at 12 o'clock saying, Nati, you operate, and I finished operation and patient didn't recover for a night till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I didn't know what to do. So 2 o'clock, I called him, sir, patient is not required, but we are doing all this, but it's okay. You want me to come? Yes. I said, no. But I'm happy. I mean, you can call him anytime. And that was the thing I had. And I also had the audacity to go and wish him on February 23rd, which nobody could do. I went one day, and he told me, never you come again. 23rd midnight, 12 o'clock, I went and wished him happy birthday because it's 24th his birthday. And I told him, you share the birthday with the Jayalalitha. He got angry with me. And then anyhow, since at 12 o'clock, he said, you woke me up. Now you have something to eat until 1 o'clock he did. And again, 7:45, you have to be there for dressing or you can't, no concessions. And then and the third is he doesn't see any caste, creed, religion for his fellows or workers or assistants. And his team was made with Christians, Hindus, Muslims, anybody. I mean, I think his first assistant was Humayun Beg, who's in Australia. Then Dr. next to him was Dr. Chandran Abraham, then Dr. Mary Abraham, Surendran. But still, but he will remember. I'm glad. The other thing is, I am probably involved with him so much. He, in spite of his Parkinson's and his medical, Alzheimer's, whatever he had, he forgot many things. But whenever I went, he will tell the cook or the nurse there, Nati does not like the froth in the coffee. He likes strong coffee. Give him. And then he knows that I like spicy. So that way, I mean, he's so nice. And then he has taken me to the King of Spain. So he will take anywhere in the world and he will introduce you as he's like the best. And I still remember 6 months, I don't know whether Mohan remembers, he had a special consent for me as a vitreoretinal consultant, saying that I am equal to him. I'm not able to get that consent form, that I was the youngest and he was the oldest that time. And then he wrote a consent to the patient and said he will operate better than me. And he will tell the patient, which is something amazing, which I can never forget. And once in the consultant meeting, they told there's all the surgeries the patients are not seeing. I think you both are making the patients blind. So this was in a consultant meeting. He brought policing. That means somebody can examine his file and somebody will examine my file. So I always took his file and find fault with him. He'll never say anything. And that's the greatest part I have seen. And the same thing, if you find fault in yours, you're finished. You'll be massacred. And that particular mistake you have done. And next time you'll be okay. I mean, sometime I remember once for not my mistake, he fired me and I was so dull the whole day. So one day he asked me, what happened to your smile, Nati? I said, sir, you cut the smile by scolding me. No, it's all right. I said, no, sir, I didn't do that. But okay, I'm sorry. He didn't. That's other greatness. I mean, if he has done a mistake, he will say sorry. And which is what I've learned from him. And this punctuality, then work is worship for him. And I remember we finished surgery at 8:30 one day, and he said, "Can we go for a movie?" So we both went for a movie alone. And then 1 o'clock, he suddenly said, "We'll go to the." He had an ambassador car. He used to drive himself. He came to the hospital, and he said, "Come, let us check." And as for his luck, when he went, the gate was locked, and watchman was sleeping. He got angry. He went and climbed the gate. I said, "Sir, the gate will break. Let me go and wake him up." He wake him up and he dismissed him. He said, "You go right now, go home. We'll manage." And he sent that fellow, and then he told me, "Go inside and check whether there is a fan, light, AC off." And that is his commitment. I mean, somebody was paying. It was a trust hospital, whatever. But amazing. I still have that habit even today, whether it's house or in hospital. Now also the hospital is not mine, but I go and make sure no room is unnecessarily AC is on. Or I mean, it was a. And then the other is he used to teach that, as Shivanandan said, aware says what you know is the size of the fist, and what you don't know is the size of universe. கற்றது கைமண்ணளவு, கல்லாதது உலகளவு. So
உலகளவு.
Olagalu, yeah. Thank you, Mohan. So that one day I was something I told him, I went and told him, "Sir, I don't know what is this in the retina." He said, "Natti, you think I know everything?" I don't know. Whatever I know in the retina is so much, he told me. Amazing. I mean, I never thought. And I remember I was, he used to force me to go and take classes in optometry. That time the optometry institute started, Elite School of Optometry. I never liked it. But anyhow, I went because he told, and that's how I became close to all the first batch and almost 5 batches I took. But you won't believe he was taking optics, and then he will study. One day I asked him, "Sir, you are going to take class for an optometrist. Why are you studying?" "No, Nati, I don't know optics. I have to read this." He will call a physics professor. And he had that S.R. Govindarajan was the principal for me, professor of physics in Vaishnava College. I remember he was in the board. He called him, he's learning, and then he'll go and teach. So I think he's an amazing teacher, and he studies a lot. He had it is not a journal club for the sake of having. That way, one thing he was one bad thing I used to tell him is, "You're a great in everything in American, but you're Indian in thinking, because you'll make us work like Indian, but study like America." Because there, and then he always told, "Don't salute me by calling me sir. Don't wish me good morning. Only servant." I remember 7:30 in the morning, he'll come. We fellows used to, that as a fellow, I'm saying, we used to talk. He'll say, "Why are you gossiping? Can you go and take the file and read? Why are you sitting together and doing? I don't like this." He'll scream. He'll bring the file, and some fellow would have come, "A patient. Why can't you take him? Why are you waiting for 8 o'clock appointment? Start work up right now," he'll tell. And one day he asked me that I'm roaring like a lion. "Do you think I'm a lion?" I said, "Sir, if you roar like a lion, then why everybody will be afraid," I told him. I said, "You shout, then what is the, but at the same time, if you don't do the mistake, and even when you're shouting, nothing will happen." I mean, the other people around him will make a issue with him. But I think he was a great teacher. And I think I remember writing to him, I like to be sculpted as a vitreoretinal surgeon, which I don't know why I wrote. He really took the hammer and chiseled, and it paints, and it really paint. And I think so many times, the first month, I remember I cried, because I never cry, but I cried because I didn't know what to do, because he was doing a surgery, and the patient was having bleeding, and suddenly he said, "Go and start the next case." And this was under GA, and the next case was under local. And that was first month of my fellowship. I didn't have, suddenly I said, "Okay, start." I don't know how to start, because I didn't even do a like a sclerotomy. So I went back, and just like that, I casually asked him, "Sir, how to start?" He got so angry. He said, "You don't know how to start. You don't know ABC in ophthalmology. Get out." And nobody has scolded me like this. When I came out, the sister Sarojini was one first nurse for them, and she said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "No, he's telling me to get out. What should I do?" He said, "What did he say?" She asked me. "Tell me." He told me to start a case. I said, I went to ask him how to start. "I don't know vitrectomy." "And start a case is not vitrectomy. You have to give local, no? You don't know to give local." She asked me. I said, "No, I've given 1,000 patients." "Then go and give." That's all he told. He said, "Give local, you go scrub and open the conjunctiva. That's all you have to do. That is starting," she told. I said, "Very good." So, but I was crying. My mask was wet. And then the microscope I was doing. Suddenly he came and suddenly asked me, "Did rat come here?" He asked me. And I was wondering what to do. I didn't know. I couldn't take my eyes out from the microscope. He was on the side tube. And I said, "What happened, sir?" "Oh, the conjunctiva is rat bitten," he told me. Because then I learned how to take care of he said, "You should make a clean cut." but I didn't know how to do it. I was cutting, looking. So that's how I learned tissue care. Even if you are a veterinary surgeon, you have to be careful about. But from that time, that was a great thing for him. As an anesthetist, the surgery, the local should be given at 7:45. 8 o'clock, if you open the conjunctiva, you can operate for 6 hours. He won't say anything. But if you start at 8:05, you are finished. You'll be asked to get down, go down, and so that sort of discipline. And I think somehow Ramurthy and Gopal was a consultant that time, 1 year senior to me, but still they were asked to do buckle. I don't know why. And he had that I'll call it a stupid idea, but he had that for long. And till Tarun was my fellow, and he was asked to do only buckle. Only after I left, he was learned vitreoretinal surgery. But anyhow, I was lucky in the first month I did vitreous surgery. And when we did policing, we analyzed the vitreoretinal surgery, which we both did. And the consultants found that my success rate was 35% anatomical success only. Vision was very bad. And chief surgery was 25%. So he asked them, I still remember the consultant meeting, you mean to say I should have stopped operating? Not he should. I said, sir, whatever it is, nobody can touch those eyes. And we are the only ones to do it. And I still remember my father said, why I think Dr. Madrinath is making you operate all bad cases. So no patient will get vision, your name will be spoiled. I said, nobody can touch them because I'm operating. Some of them will get HM, some of them will get 1 meter. And even if the patient gets 1 meter, I think the patient will be able to see his plate, go to the toilet. He will always remember you. And that's what is a never say never again. I learned from him. And he was adamant of not using silicone oil because Dr. Dr. Skippers taught him only to remove oil. So Dr. Kenji Oshima and Dr. Anatomy came that time, and also Dr. Akira Yamanaka. So all the three were there. So I'm glad in '86 we had Dr. Kinney came. So he used to learn from Dr. M.M. Kinney. So that is another great. Dr. Kinney was younger to him, but still you learn from him. He'll ask, what is the new thing? Because they both did residency together. So I think the greatest thing is he never stopped learning. He was always encouraging the youngest, and I think in the condolence meeting, that one character was told that he made everybody feel he's very close to them. And he has visited every fellow, I think, which is amazing. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm glad I can do that. So he has visited almost every fellow, every consultant, their weddings, their children's wedding. And I think he has come for several functions, both for me and Mohan. So that way, this time Mohan was not there. One Alagiri, who was with Dr. Badrinath all the time, he was there for all the function. I went for the 12th day. I think Mohan had to travel somewhere. So that man told, you are the two eyes of Dr. Badrinath. I said, so I think that way, he was so nice, even though we both left Shankar Nethralaya one time, but he was kept it. And then the other important thing is in 91, and Dr. Badrinath's 50th birthday, I don't know why he took me, that time Preeti and Aditya, for Aditya's Mundan was done in his lap, and Aditya was 1 year and few months. And then in Tirupati he did. So that way he attended my wedding. When I saw a girl from Bombay, he sent people from Madras to check with the family whether I'll be okay. And when I had an IT raid, he came all the way. He asked me, you want me to talk to the finance minister? I said, no, sir. The mistake is ours, and we'll manage. I'm still managing with income tax. So I think that way is like that. I think probably that's indirectly. I was seeing from 1971 from my school days, because the day he came, I've seen him, and his meticulousness. I mean, his amount of his dedication. I mean, sometimes he'll operate 8 hours. The retina will not settle, but he will not give up. And I think that's the great part. And then when you found that a person like me can do better, I remember one day every patient with giant tap with 6/6 vision will go to PL. So suddenly he told me, Nati, I'm fed up and I'm depressed. I don't want to do giant tear, because giant tear we used to put the patient upside down and do the fluid air exchange lying down, which I learned, and Gopal also did. So he stopped doing, and I was doing for some time. Fortunately, then we learned from that's later after I left. I introduced PFCL first time because I brought Stanley Chang. So that way he'll ask me, how did you get all these guys? You're not trained there. I said, somehow I call them, they'll come. So that way he'll appreciate. He came for all my conferences. And I think the great man, and he's living with us, with all of us.
Absolutely, sir. As
I took a lot of time in answering this.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think this time was required, because I think your experience with Chief is something that is, I will say, if it comes to the core of your ophthalmic life, the core is actually your tutelage with one and only Dr. S.S. Badrinath sir. And it is not only the ophthalmologic aspects, as you have correctly said, because I think when I asked you about what did you learn from him, you have spoken about so many other aspects of life apart from ophthalmology also. So we are very glad that you have shared the same with us. And of course, I think the amount of transformational, let's say, ability Chief had done, and the Indian ophthalmology is transformed only and only because of Chief. In nooks and corners of India, people are getting the best of international standard care is thanks to him. And thanks
This
to
is the other one, Vardhaman. This picture, I can never forget. Dr. Badrinath was actually I knew. I traveled with MS Subbulakshmi and Dr. Badrinath and met the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi that time in 1986. Still, I'm not able to get that photograph. And he took us to the background. He has introduced me to all the many presidents of India, and thanks to him. And this is the culmination in 2011. He called me as a chief guest. You can see Mahakavi Bharati in that poster behind in the Lions Club. He cried because he loves Mahakavi Bharati's songs. And he, instead of me blessing, he honored me and he's telling me to bless him. And that's his, I think, amazing thing of making best. And thanks, he introduced me to Dr. Jovanovich. You can see him here now. I'm part of the Jovanovich Foundation, and Dr. Jovanovich is alive. He's 93 years old. And you can see two mentors. Dr. Jovanovich came also to my OT, and several times he has come. And that's what and even now, and this is a picture of my father when he was 10 years old, and that's my grandfather in center, which he was in this is 1940, and this is my grandparents, and this is my ancestral house in Tenkasi. And I'm just why the reason is I'm seeing this is myself as a small kid, and this is my grandmother in her house, and that's the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Tenkasi, and you can see Aditya as a Aditi as a small child, and this is me and my brother, and this is my first standard picture. You can see, and I think I was in the eye hospital compound, and then this is the chief minister, and I remember when Dr. Badrinath operated. MGR that time, and he told me that when I was a consultant, my father had some problem and he had help. He said, "How does MGR remember you?" I said, "That's how, sir. I met him several times, and I represented the medical student." I told him, "You can see he visited us many times. That's me as an athletic captain, sound mind in a sound body." And this is again my the NCC Air Wing.
I think, sir, here comes the important question, because I think everybody wants to know that, of course, you have such a charismatic personality. But now Dr. Atulji asked the same. I have had Dr. Sonone sir asking me the same, is about your fitness journey. Basically, as we see, and as I think we discussed also in the past, when you were a fellow and now, it seems that you are grown younger than when you were
You can
younger
see,
days.
you can see this picture. I'm a consultant. You can see Dr. Gopal behind me. You are able to see this picture?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes,
So,
yes.
so in this, you can see that Dr. Gopal is next to me, and then Dr. Badrinath is behind us, and this is Dr. Yamanaka, and
Yeah.
anatomy, and he taught us using the whisk 10 how to do silicone oil. So I think the fitness is, you can see Dr. Mohan Rajan here. This is 2009, and that is a great part. I'm happy Mohan is working as second. And this is my fellowship photograph. You can see.
So now, if you see, look at yourself, and if you look at yourself as a fellow, I think you definitely look much more fitter.
Younger.
Yes.
And this is again, you can see how he's happy honoring me, and every
So
time.
just, sir, tell us what is the is how you keep yourself young. Dr. Suhas also asked me
Yes.
about this, sir.
Okay. I know. 1 second. I think that I made a video because Suhas only told me to make.
Right.
I think I forgot to show that. Okay, I'll show that. And see the movement.
Yes.
So this is a daily gym.
Mhm.
So it's a 1 day gym or sir 30 days gym?
So this is everyday gym. So this is my prayer. So this I do daily, and this is they call it as a super brain yoga. No? And then nowadays I started having old rice as my breakfast. So I have it in the mud pot because my grandmother used to have that. So this is the rice which is kept the night before. It's supposed to be fermented and it's good. Then I have limited. And this is when I'm at home. Other than most of the time I travel. And then I also do the administrative work in between before I start the day. This is my foundation. That's my grandmother. And I'm ready to go to the hospital. So I always go in the suit. Then I said, you are always smart. And also I have the shoes shining because Robin Sharma said that you should be able to see your face. And this is my daily routine. So I actually daily pray Mata Pita. And you have this is my grandfather. And you also see Shivanandan there in that picture. He made this. That's my grandfather. And this is my mother's parents. So I have 3 trees planted for them. And I also daily feed a lot of birds in the morning. And I ring a bell and all of them come.
What time you go to your hospital, sir? What is the
There is
time?
a hospital, yeah.
What time you go, sir?
And now I think nowadays around 10.
Okay.
And I think I have a temple. So this is like for the brain yoga. You catch he is supposed to be increasing the circulation. And I do this daily in the house, in the hospital, and I do it publicly because it's not a show. But I tell them whatever success is because of God, and whatever I do is and this is what the crows, miners, parrots, everybody come. And this is my OPD. This guy is a 35-year-old patient, and we have medical records of all the patients from 1988. So I now don't put the patient lying down. I can see everything by sitting itself, and I don't put the lights off in the OPD. And then this is my 3D OT, and I do all my surgeries in 3D. And so I think this is what I learned because I made a Maharaja chair where I have a backrest design and handrest design. And this is again my dancing. This is a recent conference, Maharashtra Ophthalmic we did. So I think the secret is one is law of attraction, where so I believe the law of attraction, law of manifestation, and law of visualization. Because many times I think I'm doing this from my childhood without learning. I read a lot of books because I travel a lot in airports, waiting in the plane and long flights. So I read a lot, but I read little many times and sleep most of the time in the plane. But whatever I read, thank God, thanks to my guru, the secret of concentration, which I say, concentration is the essence of all knowledge. Nothing can be done without it. 90% of thought force is wasted by ordinary human being, and therefore is constantly committing blunders. The trained man or mind never makes a mistake, and that's what thanks to Dr. Badrinath, which I follow. I see arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached in background of Santosh, which is there was in my father's car, which is I remember the car number also MSX 1067. And I think probably without realizing, subconsciously, I'm following Swami Vivekananda and Thiruvalluvar from school, but now genuinely following all the time. And I carry Swami Vivekananda everywhere. And he says we have to do it. And I think I carry because, Swami Vivekananda says idol worship is the least form of prayer. But now I'm slowly becoming spiritual. So I also do twin heart meditation. It's there in the YouTube by the Philippine meditation leader. But finally, I think sound mind in a sound body. I remember from college. So I was athlete. I used to play, and at that time I was a long distance runner. Now I don't like running. Somehow I don't like marathon. So, but still I do marathon surgeries. And I think the main thing is I like to. So I think whatever I wanted, one is I always wanted to look young, so I color my hair. That's another secret. And then I color every hair. So Shivan then says, "How you have the time?" And every one hair in the mustache also you are coloring. I said because I want to see that 2 minutes smart. And then more now at least in the Zoom I am seeing myself. Otherwise you don't see yourself. No, the others are seeing at you. So I said, why not you dress to kill and impress? And I think. That's what I learned. And Robin Sharma says, how you look, and I think that's what your. If you stand tall, that means positive, and you will not actually you will not tell a lie, and you can convey. And Chief was like that. He was a tall figure, not only in the height but in the stature. So he always told the patient. I remember once one I think he was an ophthalmologist, I think from Kanpur. His son had some vague detachment. Somehow chief said, I will not touch. Then the patient cried and told the doctor told, can you operate my son? So I went to chief, sir, you have refused surgery, but the patient is telling, can you try? He said, okay. If he is going to be blind in your hands, okay, he told me. And then when I am operating, the father was inside the OT, and the retina was going in bits. I don't know what happened. Some whole thing went. Finally, only disc was remaining. So the father was crying because he was seeing what's happening. I told him, see, this is what Dr. Bajna told, and I tried, and I'm sorry, we can't do anything more. Anyway, he accepted. But he gave that gave me the guts to do anything, and also telling the patient, I will operate, you may not see. So I think the most important is I do exercise, specifically keeping the neck muscles and back muscles. So the main idea is to make sure that it's strong. And then dancing also the same reason. I do all sorts of movements, making sure that the abdomen muscles are strong, and then I run for making sure the endurance is there. And I think, and then diet also you have to take care. I eat a lot. By instance, I eat many things, but I eat small quantities, and I now most of the time use more protein, the less carbohydrate, even though that much rice I eat. But I think it's limited. And I think in the mind is important. Robin Sharma has written in that book, what's her name? Rhonda Byrne has written in page number 62, where you can eat anything and then you say you want in this shape, it happens. I think you have to believe that and it happens. And I think there's a philosophy called auto suggestion. That means what you want, you tell, it'll happen. So I decided to look young, and I think I'm also making efforts. And then some skin, I don't do anything except I put the regular cream whenever I remember. And I don't know what, but I mean, patients appreciate, which I don't know whatever they say. But I think I don't do anything special. Main thing is good sleep, enjoy, and dance a lot, and eat a lot of chilies. I eat a lot. I don't know whether it helps, but I keep finding a lot of important things, good things about chili. But I'm not sure. I didn't start like that, but I enjoy it, and I feel chili is a drug which gives me the high. Which unfortunately, like I went to Bogota and what is that? Colombia, the drug place. And I think it's easy to get addicted there for the nasha. But here, my nasha is I sweat when I eat the spice and I have more energy. And when I do the twin heart meditation, I thought I'll get sleep. And the end of the twin heart, it says, if you get more energy, you do stretching. So I said, in the night when I do twin heart, why should I get more energy? But you get more energy. And I think you talk less. I think Swami Vivekananda said, and also Buddha said, you'll get more energy. But somehow I made my philosophy, my physiology, I talk more and I get more energy.
And what about your black coffee, sir?
Yes. So at home, I don't take black coffee. Black coffee is because I was stuck with the various executive meetings from both MOS, BOA, AOS. From morning to night, meetings are there. So I have 10 coffees. Nothing happens to me. I think whether I have black coffee or water or hot water or tea, there's no difference. I think nothing stimulates me, but I think it's in the mind. But still, I love black coffee. I love the taste. But I say black coffee is life for me because it is kadua and you have to learn to enjoy drinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, sir. So I think we have also been joined by two of Dr. Nati
Yes.
sir.
I know
Great
John
friends.
is waiting for a long time.
Yeah. So I think let's listen to Dr. John Prakash. So I think Dr. Nati sir, what we of course have seen over years is that your influence, not only as a Indian ophthalmology legend, but your influence is global. And one of the things that actually shows that is so many friends you have globally who are opinion makers in global medicine, ophthalmology, and one of them we have with us today. You're a great friend, and we had pleasure of meeting Dr. John Prakash sir last year. So we would like to definitely learn from Dr. John Prakash sir about this aspect of Dr. Nati. And sir, you wanted to also share your screen. You can do that, please. Yeah.
Hello, John.
Okay. So can you see my screen?
Not yet, sir. It is just showing started screen sharing, but we cannot see what is being shared. So maybe you can, now we can see it. Yes.
You can see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, lots of, most of the things have been said about Dr. Nataraj.
John,
Yeah.
we couldn't hear you, John.
I think
John,
we lost.
you're muted. You're muted.
Unmute yourself, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Can
muted.
you all hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Do you see my screen?
No, not anymore.
We saw the
That means
screen.
great again.
We read the slide, but
Yeah.
now we can't see.
Now you can speak, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So hold on a second. I think it got disconnected for some reason. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, do you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I think I'm just going to add to. I was listening to a lot of people, and everything has been said about Dr. Natarajan. So I thought, what am I going to add to this? So I really, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Vardhaman for inviting me, and I said, oh, absolutely. For Dr. Natarajan, this is what an honor, what a pleasure to really be part of this celebration of his achievements as well as a human being. So I think the most important thing is that what I did was last night I took a look at what is a legend actually, and I knew what legend really meant, but I never actually did a search and educated myself. So here are some answers actually, and let's see if he fits into any of these profiles. So if you refer to someone as a legend, you mean that they are very famous and admired by a lot of people. Obviously, he meets all the criteria here, and his legend is someone who leaves behind an unforgettable impression on others, and of course that the others includes me and my family and my friends and everyone else, and they touch lives. Obviously, he's doing that, and he's done it. They're remembered and they are cherished. So all those things he really meets, and then. Calling someone a legend is a way of expressing great admiration and respect for that person. So obviously we've done that, and we're doing this. And then the last question I asked was, can you call a living person a legend? Because I was always an impression that a legend is somebody who is like all the famous poets and famous people that we saw in the slides, including our own respected Dr. Badrinath. So obviously he's a legend. But my question was, can you call a living person a legend? So here's another definition from one of the dictionaries, that a legend is someone who is famous for being extremely good at something and who still does that activity. So obviously Dr. Natarajan fits all these things. And he's certainly a legend as a living person. But I'm going to mention three things, which is from my experience. So I've known him for a good 11, 12 years. And first time when I met him at an APO meeting in Hyderabad, and at that time we were just thinking of the National Eye Institute. As many of you know, that my job is, I'm the director for the international office. And we were considering setting up something really big, an eye genetics consortium, global eye genetics consortium. And I met Dr. Natarajan, and I was really, really blown away by the energy, the admiration, the people, the way he was handling people, being so extrovert. And I said, that's it. I found the person who would be the Secretary General for this. So I came back to Washington, And I told my boss, director of the National Eye Institute, Dr. Paul Sieving, that, I found a really, really good Secretary General. And then we did a research on him. We found out that he has no experience in doing eye genetics. So I said, well, and then immediately after, one of the co-founders, Dr. Takeshi Iwata, said, but he's not an eye geneticist. And, I said, what is my really response to that? And I said, well, but he gets things done. And we need somebody who has limitless energy and who gets things done. And under the aegis of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society last year, you all saw that Dr. Natarajan actually organized the very first global or international meeting of the Global Eye Genetics Consortium. Here you go. And as most of you know that we have produced, the fourth volume is coming. This is the consortium that has produced 4 volumes of advances in vision research of eye geneticists from all over the world. There are several hundred members from 35 countries. So Dr. Natarajan certainly has proven himself that he had never done eye genetics before, but he's the person who gets things done. All right. The second thing I wanted to mention here is his very down-to-earth attitude, very down-to-earth. And I'll tell you, just 2 weeks ago, Dr. Natarajan and I were in Hong Kong together. And we had a very busy day. He had just, both of us were busy in a meeting and doing different things. And he had co-chaired a global session with me. He was my co-chair. And then he and I went to get some fresh air outside. And then we said, okay, let's explore something new. So we explored the Hong Kong metro system, went somewhere to pick up something for our family and dear ones. And he wanted to pick up things for his staff, people who support him every day. And then we came back. It was actually almost midnight. And then he says, John, it's not really raining, but there's just a little bit of drizzle. And I love actually just standing in the drizzle. So we walked out of the hotel, just outside. We went to the Victoria Harbor, which was right in front. And he says, look, John, this is what I do. And he literally put his face up and the drizzle was coming on his face. He says, and he just was enjoying it so much. And I was actually awe-inspired. I said, here's a man with so much, accomplishment, and this is midnight. We have worked very hard. Somebody would be just ready to crash and sleep, and he's enjoying some of the best blessings of our life, what we can get. And he was enjoying the drizzle, the mist that was coming in his face. So I said, my hat's off to this man. This is really, and then we enjoyed that for good about a half hour and then came back to. And I think, and then I was asking myself before going to bed in the night, and I just left him at his room. And I said, how did he do that? How does he do that? And I asked myself that question. I said, I think the only answer I could find was that he takes his criticism really, really well, and he surrounds himself with his critics. And Mr. Shivanandan certainly is a critic. And then I criticize him and I tell him, hey, you're not doing this right. And how about doing this? How about this way? And I recalled one of the, as most of you know that I was born and raised in India before coming to the US. And one of the things my father used to say that, you should keep your critic next to you. Nindak niyare rakhiye, right? Angan kuti chhawai. That is, you should have your critique near you, right? Maybe the English language got the word near from Hindi, right? Nindak means the critic, right? Niyare rakhiye. And so close, you should keep your nindak so close, just keeping him in your courtyard, right? Or next to. These days, most houses don't have courtyard, so next to him. And here is a man who's literally and recently moved to his biggest critique next door to Mr. Shivanandan. And I said, that is really the success of his, the secret to his success. So I admire him for all this. I'm so proud to be his friend. I'm so happy to be part of his journey. And many, many accomplishments are still in the making. He is truly the one, and I would say at this point, the highly and most respected global ophthalmologist, and literally representing India in all international meetings. And I can tell you that whenever I keep reminding him, every time I see him every few months, I tell him that, Dr. Natarajan, you just don't belong to India. You don't belong to Maharashtra. You don't belong to just India. You belong to the whole world. So please remember, you are a global citizen. You are here for a unique purpose, and you are really here to help the whole world. Thank you so much for being my friend, and I admire you for all the things what you do.
Good job.
Thank you, sir. I think, as you have correctly said, sir is a global icon, and I think somebody who gets things done. That is, I think, the most important quality that we should all learn from him. And of course, joining us now is Dr. Mohan Rajan sir, who has been a junior to Dr. Nati sir right from the college days. He's, let's say, brother in arms right from Shankanitralaya days. And both of them have been doing tremendous work for many organizations, including AIOC together, the Ocular Trauma Society together, as Alumni Association's president, secretary together. So over to you, Dr. Mohan Rajan sir, for your sharing thoughts about Dr. Nati.
Yeah, thank you, Badhaman, and the MOS, Santosh, Aditi, and other people here in MOS for this wonderful opportunity. It's really a very innovative session. And we started this when I was the president of TNOA. As the luminaries of TNOA, we started and doing that every month. And entire year, we did about 12 luminaries across Tamil Nadu. That was 2 years back when I was the president of the Tamil Nadu Optometric Association. I'm glad that you selected Natarajan. Dr. Natarajan, see, there was a phenomenon called Dr. Badrinath in 1940. Okay, there is another phenomenon which is in 2004, which is called the tsunami, and that is a bad tsunami. Okay, but there's bad phenomenon. But 1957, there's another phenomenon which was born, and these are all phenomena. There's none other than Dr. Natarajan who's a phenomenon. So we call somebody a phenomenon because these are people, just like what John was telling is, okay, these are all people who are born to excel in their life, okay, right from the beginning, with the birth, the genes are like that to make them become better and better every time. So Dr. Nati is a very, very close friend of mine. He's like my brother, and his father was very close to me. In fact, his father died on my lap, okay, and my father was very close to him, and both our fathers worked together in Government Ophthalmic Hospital. And I will not forget the day. I will not, even now, even like a couple of weeks back when we met in the TraumaCon, I told Nati, I will not forgive you because you and Arul dragged me to the core when I entered Madras Medical College way back in 1978, when they were 3 years senior to me and they dragged me. I wanted to actually quit the college and go out. So, and because of this, anyway, Nati is a guy who's full of positive energy. So something which you can actually learn from Nati is something which is actually very infectious. Okay, and this infectious smile of him, this laughter, which makes you very, very light. At the end of the day, the laughter. I feel that the youth, the young in mind, whatever Nati is having now, is all because of the laughter he's having always. Okay, he is an extrovert. He will not hesitate to open out to anybody. And if you have bent up feelings inside your body, you will develop BP, you will develop diabetes, you will develop heart attacks, and all these problems. Multiple problems can occur. And Nati is, I think, is a game changer. Is a trendsetter, as all know. Everybody has talked about it. And he is, above all, what I would suggest is, I would tell everybody here is, Nati is a great human being. About 150 years back, because I'm also a very strong follower of Swami Vivekananda like Nati. Okay, 150 years back, one fellow went to Swami Vivekananda and asked, I want to become a great human being. Okay, And the Swami Vivekananda ji, Swamiji told him, the very fact that you are a human being itself is great. Okay? And today, if the same guy goes to Swamiji and says, today you will say, Swamiji, go to see in Dr. Natarajan how to become a great human being. And that is what I think in a nutshell I would say about Natarajan. Natarajan has got all the qualities. As Arul rightly said, no, the friends, he will give his life for his friends. And at any point of time, you call him, he'll be there, and he will not forget any of our birthdays. He'll be the first one to call on your birthday, your wedding anniversary. Even my own wedding anniversary, I would have forgotten with Sujata. By the way, the reason for my wedding with Sujata is Natti's father. Okay, Natti's father was, Natti's father was the one who convinced my father that because my father-in-law and Dr. Sundaram sir, who's Natti's father, were colleagues in Stanley Medical College and classmates and hostel mates, and they knew each other, Sujata's dad. And because my father didn't know Sujata's dad very well at that time, and it was Dr. Sundaram sir who actually convinced my father that Sujata is from a good family, and that's the reason for the wedding, which I mentioned in the Trauma conference a couple of weeks back as well. And Natti is something which is a real incredible, I will tell you. And you see it on the dance floor, you see it in the OT. No, what is important is everybody says, no, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. No, I am very busy. Okay? If you want to excel, something which I learned from Natti, he's always my role model and my inspiration, my motivation. Whatever I'm doing, even if I'm doing about 10-20% of what Natti is doing, it's because of him only. And of course, we have all learned from Dr. Badrinath, our guru. Dr. Badrinath, in an open meeting, he has told, my two eyes, my two people are Dr. In fact, it has come in several papers at that time also. Dr. Badrinath and Mohan Rajan. I'm sorry, Natarajan and Mohan Rajan for that. So we have taken that, the qualities of Dr. Badrinath. And as Abdul Kalam says, if you want to achieve something in your life, travel the untraveled path. And that's what Natti did. He traveled the untraveled path if you want to achieve glory. Traveling the untraveled path is not easy, because if you go on a travel path like what already is being laid by somebody, it's easier for you to. But traveling in untraveled, going from Chennai to Bombay, completely an alien field, and wherein there was no retinal surgeon at that time in 1988, and starting and making it big. Okay, and you can go to Bombay and do run-of-the-mill practice, but coming to the top and sustaining at the top for so many years is something which is, I think, remarkable. Natti, hats off to you, and you are always an inspiration for all of us. And you are full of positive energy, and you never think anything negative. Okay, even now, last week also we were talking about something. 2 days back we were talking. Every other day we talk, and we just something. No, we can do this. We can do this. Nothing say we cannot do that. We'll try it. We'll make an effort. So the four mantras of Natti is consistent, well-directed, self-motivated effort. Okay, self-motivated. The self-motivation is very, very necessary. Okay, I always tell my PGs, I tell this thing, no, you can become very good in your ophthalmology, very good in your cornea, very good in your cornea, in your retina, glaucoma, whatever it is. But unless you have passion, you cannot excel in your life. Okay, you need to have passion. You need to have passion, you need to have compassion, you need to have hard work, you need to make an effort. Okay, all these things, Dr. Badrinath taught us. My parents, my father was also like Dr. Natarajan's father, working in government ophthalmic hospital for more than 3 decades. And they all taught us how to do it. And the passion is very, very necessary. If you don't have passion, whatever you may have an FRCS, AB degree, or something like that, or a PhD, but it's not going to work at all. So you need to have passion, and that is what I think we have to learn from Dr. Natarajan. Passionate about whatever he is doing, and the compassion and empathy is showing for the patients. And he will go any extent to thing, and he will not differentiate between the rich and the poor. For him, the patient is a patient, and that is what I think we have learned that from Dr. Badrinath. Dr. Badrinath used to tell us, consider every patient as your father and mother. You will not go wrong. And that is what we are doing in our practice, and that's what Dr. Natarajan is also doing. You consider you will not do harm for your parents. And that is what he is doing. And that is what we are practicing. See, you learn something, but practicing what you what you preach is also very important. No? So implementing that practice, Natarajan has shown that way for all of us. Implementing successfully and to be there everywhere and saying that, no, I don't have time, as John Prakash was telling, in the middle of the night, he goes and stands under the rail. It's something which is, sometimes it's very crazy. Most of the times it's very crazy. But, the craziness also, there is a craziness also, you have something to learn from the craziness. So, Natarajan, he's a living legend for us. He will always be a living legend for us. He's always a bright star. In my in our in Tamil Nadu, we call them Tala, Taleva. Tala means Dhoni or thing. Taleva, superstar, supreme star. Everything is Dr. Natarajan. So you call him Virat Kohli, you call him Rohit Sharma, you call him Sachin Tendulkar, Sehwag, Kapil Dev, or Ajay Jadeja, whatever it is, the Ravindra Jadeja or Ashwin. He is there. He is an all-rounder, and he is a 360-degree personality, and he is a person who will deliver it to you every time. Every time, consistency. That consistency is something which is incredible consistency. And every time he will say, if you pick up a phone and talk to Natti and say that, boss, I want this, I want this to be done, he will say, no, I will do it. I will do it for you. Only thing is, he will say, okay, give me some time, I will do it for you. He will never say no. Especially for me and all, he would never say no. Because I have taken care of his father and mother. No, I used to take care of them. Always, they are very, very close to me when they were there in Chennai. I used to take care of them. Not because of that. Not because I was taking care of his parents. He used to do that. Because of friendship. He considered me as my brother. Not only for me, but everybody. Everybody. He will go out of the way to help. And that helping tendency is something which is very, very important. And going out and extending, going beyond the call of duty. And that is what it is, beyond the call of, just doing your duty and coming away. Many people do that. That's called active. Being proactive is something which is very, very remarkable from what Natti. Several qualities are there for Natti, and he's really fantastic. And he's really a person, I would say, always in the top notch personality as far as I'm concerned. Not only for me, but also for Sujata, for the entire Rajanayaka team. The next week is coming and he is demonstrating the live surgery for us and surgical strike. Very, very happy that Natti is coming here and doing live surgery in Rajanayaka after a long time. So thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity. Vardhaman, what a lovely program you have created, and what a beautiful talks by Sivananda, Arul, John. Really fantastic. You have opened up a new vista as far as the legend is concerned. And something is legend. I learned a lot from that. And Vardhaman, really congratulations to you. Santosh,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All our SN products, I'm sure. So proud of the SN alumni here. They're doing so much good work in Maharashtra and all parts of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So now over to, thank you, sir, for sharing the thing. And as you have said, one of the most important thing is being self-motivated. I think I've always seen, if sir wants to achieve something, he will make sure that he is at the highest level of motivation. He will motivate everybody around him. So I think that is a great...
Another important thing, when Vardhaman, sorry to interrupt that. See, please understand, don't think that Natti is smiling and he doesn't have any problem. He has gone through so much of problems. Nobody can even imagine how much of problems. I would have been dead if I had gone through that. To be frank with you, I don't want to open that discussion here, but I know how much of hell he went through. No, but despite that, at the end of the day, he's got a very smiling face and he laughs to everybody. It's really fantastic.
Absolutely.
I would have been dead and buried if I had gone through that problem. I know exactly, because I was online with him almost every day. Me and Sujata were doing that. I don't know. But still, despite that, he has come over. See, this is I think, a message. I think Natti should start. I should do an autobiography for something like a biography on me. Yeah, I think I'll make arrangements of that. So
Okay.
I
Definitely, sir.
start working on that.
That will be inspiring for others also.
Inspiring for others, because against all odds, okay, you do not know. Some people may not know. Many people may not know about that.
True, sir.
Yeah,
Only
that's true.
few people like me and Siddhartha and other people may know. Very close circle know about. Sivananda knows about it, and so we know exactly. But how much of hell he went through, and despite that, coming out of that successfully, that is because of your perseverance, the conviction, and your positive thinking. That is, I think there are really fantastic qualities. We very rarely we see a person like this.
That is a
So
hallmark of
it's like BC and AD, no? BC and before Natarajan and after Natarajan. We were just telling in Dr. Badrinath sitting before Badrinath and Dr. Badrinath. And it's similarly before Natarajan, after Natarajan also will soon come for a thing. He created so much of impact in everybody's lives.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Mohan, can I write a chapter in your book?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Why not, sir? Why not, John? Why not? Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm sure about 1 lakh people will be ready to write chapters on
Thank you.
the book.
That's why I invited myself early on.
Yes, absolutely.
Any other questions are there for sir from Dr. Agarwal sir or Dr.
Sir,
Dr.
only one thing I want to know from Natarajan. So many people are coming in ophthalmology. So, what advice or message you want to give to the new generation?
I think the world over, the new generation wants to work less and earn more and enjoy more. And I don't know what is the meaning of enjoy. And I think even though I think we overworked a lot, which is not correct. And I think the Dr. Rakesh Sinha used to tell balance 5 balls, and 4 balls are made of rubber ball, and 1 ball is family. That is the glass ball. So I think we have to have a balance in life, and that rubber ball is like physical, personal, then profession, work, all that is and then family is the glass. So I think one, if you have a family, you have to make sure you maintain, and then other is you have to balance all the things. And I think you have to balance your personal and professional life well. And I think one is, I think you have to work, and like when you say to the young people follow Bhagavad Gita, they don't like it. I know that, but I think they should know that you work happily. So I use the word. Dr. Badrinath taught all of us, which Mohan said, 99% hard work, 1% inspiration. He always told me no bad luck. I remember 1st January when I was assisting him cataract, he had a vitreous loss. I said, sir, 1st January, New Year, first case is got a vitreous loss. What is the problem? He told me. Every day, same day. You do management, you will manage the vitreous loss, and okay. So that's what I learned. So I think there's no day, good day, bad day. I think same thing John follows. Like all of us are in a way spiritual, go to temple, pray. But I think when it comes, I think the young people should know, work with passion. This is what I think Mohan conveyed. So I have learned that without nobody, I mean, we have somehow imbibed that. So I think the young people should probably, I know they like to work 9 to 5, which is something in a way, because I'm an old timer, I think with Dr. Badrinath, it irritates me. Even today, if somebody asks me leave, I don't like to give. But after a long time, now I have decided, okay, go. I mean, now I'm actually to tell Mohan, Saturday I'm coming to Chennai because my cook is on taking leave, and my driver is taking leave, and the secretary. I said nobody in the house, so I said okay, I'll come to Chennai so that I'm going to stay with the Madhivanan and family and then I'm going to visit Mohan also on the first evening. We are going to college. His cricket. Madras Medical College group is, even though I don't play cricket, but I'm close to all of them. So I think the young people should, what they know is learn to respect elders, which is why I love history. I love history generally, and I love history in ophthalmology. So that's why I put this slide, which Shivanandan, I'm happy, recognized it. I don't do it as a show off. I always say Mata, Pita, Guru, Mitra, Deva. The Mitra I learned from the movie Kuselan, where Rajinikanth talks about a friend, because he also came up in life because of his friend who was the bus driver. Even today, he talks about it. Mohan is very close to superstar. Thanks to Mohan, he also allowed me to become his friend and also examine him. So what I'm saying, I think the young people should know everybody can be successful, everybody can earn money, but how much? And that's where the problem comes. I think I don't know why they're seeing somebody. I want to be, or I think I remember probably somebody wants to be like Mohan or me or XYZ. I think, yeah, whether you have whatever car you have, and why see only that expensive car, and that's how they start the career. Which my advice will be: learn yourself the best qualities of ophthalmology, whatever you are going to practice, cataract, medical retina, surgical retina, oculoplasty, whatever. But be the best in your field, and I think make sure that what you commit, make sure you do, and then automatically the Three Idiots movie is a great lesson where you follow excellence, success will come. The problem is the reverse. Everybody wants to have a target. I want so much money. I want this car. I want this house. I want a house here. I think after 40 years of life, I got my. Everybody says, "Oh, you worked for it," but actually, after achieving it, now I feel I sometimes today I was lying down in the floor. My cook came and told, "What is this, sir? You're lying on the floor." And I remember my son when I was lying next to the whatever drainage in the my other building. My son suddenly told me, "Hey, Dad, you're a big doctor, I believe, and you're world famous. So how come you can lie down here?" I said, "What is the problem, man? The Mother Earth is great." So actually, every day I bow down. Nobody knows. I'm the only few guys own a land in Bombay. Otherwise, everybody has property on the first floor, second floor, a part of some floor. I have a land with a compound, which is the Aditya Jyoti Hospital. So every day, actually, when I pray, I actually kiss the ground, which nobody knows. That I learned from, as Arul said, I learned from the football ground. I always kiss the ground when I enter the ground because that's where the Mother Earth. So I think you have come from there and you have to go there. Why this ego in between? So the young people, I think they should know working hard is a wrong word according to me. You should have work with love and passion. Osho says that. Rajneesh said, if you see somebody, whether he's working or not, and he's enjoying, that means he's enjoying life. That means when you're engrossed in work, in patient, research, or like I mean, thanks to the John for stimulating me. I'm attending RO regularly. The reason is, and as he said, genetics. I'm now making a paper on inherited retinal degeneration. So what after taking the post, I'm working for it backward. I think that's what we have to learn. I mean, as Mohan said, somehow I'm never tired. That's what as last week only. Every day I got up at 3 o'clock from Mahabalipuram and then went to West Bengal just because with love they called me. The leadership program is my passion again to teach people. So I feel that Kushyam Batnega in Hindi, and then in Tamil it's there. Yam Patra Inbam Peruhai Vayagam. That means whatever joy you are getting, let it share with the universe. And this is what people are not able to understand. Young people should know more you teach, more you give. That means whether you give happiness, whether you give some disturbance to somebody, you're going to get it back. So best is to keep giving happiness. And in spite of people have troubled me, as Mohan said, I know a lot of people, including IT raid, I know who did it. In spite of that, I go and hug them. I don't know why I have that quality. I don't mind. I know I get angry, I fight, but I finally I'll go and hug them. I forgive. And I think even now some major thing happened in my founder, I have forgiven. I said, forgive and forget. So I think we have to, young ophthalmologists should learn and imbibe people like all the top people. That's what I'm happy that Retina Hall of Fame is started in 1851 from von Helmholtz, who found the ophthalmoscope. And from that time, Albert Gallstrand, who's the man who found the IOL, the optics, who got the only ophthalmologist who got Nobel Prize. Then Stargardt, name it, Custodies, Linkoff. I'm glad I'm with them. I think I never applied for it because we can't apply for the charter member, which is done by the American Society for Retina. I think when you work, automatically you get definitely God gives you the result,
Recognition.
which is what I think that's why I remember meeting Swami Chinmayananda, who explained to me in the medical college in 1977. I think that's before the year Mohan joined. He came and he told, if you want anything to achieve, have it sky high and not ceiling high. And he said, if you want a profit of that time he told us 1 lakh, you said God may want to give you 1 crore. Why are you asking 1 lakh? So don't fix what you want. You do your best job and automatically you will be rewarded. The problem with the youngsters is they have a calculation. I will do 10 cataract. I'll charge this much. I want this much. And I remember now, even now, I don't know what are the charges hospital is taking in whenever I operate. I don't know. As Mohan correctly said, when I'm patient on the table, we only know the inside the eye. And fortunately, I've operated all the races in the world. Every retina looks same. The color is not different. The red blood vessel is same. So I think whether it's only the eyelids are different. Chinese eyes are a little difficult to open, so you put a tract or whatever. So I think the main youngsters should learn is learn the best. And I think there are every good teachers like all of you are here. They can learn from anybody and do the best to the patient. And just for the money, please don't work. And I remember my father told his professor told him, if you want to make money, he told in 1947 when they joined MBBS, get out of the class. Same thing, I think youngsters should do. If they want to make money, they should not take medical profession and become an ophthalmologist. They should do a share market or something else. But they should make money, but do good service and make money.
Yeah, good message, sir.
And also
Thank you.
physically look after themselves. As Mohan said, you should have a good friend to go and either cry on the shoulder or let out. I think no point in choking. That's the best part I had, because as Shivanandan said, from 88, I didn't allow him to. That morning, he used to tell me I used to do strategy planning, but I will go and keep on talking. And sometimes he has to tell and I'll listen. Otherwise, sometimes he has to raise the voice and listen to me, he'll tell. Then I will keep listening. So I think you have to let out your feeling, tell your ideas. Somebody will try, and same thing we do with I'm glad whenever I can, I can take the phone. And I actually learned a lot from Janvi. Sometimes I'm tired. And whenever I land, he'll make, because of the jet lag, he'll say, no, we'll do this till 10 o'clock. He'll make me awake so that I'll again fresh in the next morning, 6, 7, we'll start the work and keep working. So sometimes they'll ask me, does the jet lag affect? It affects. But I think when friends like John, and they may come on till 10, they won't allow me to sleep when I land. But then after that morning, after that 6, 7 hours sleep, we'll again work. So I think we learn to enjoy every minute. Joy 24/7 should be the process for the youngsters, even as a PG. And that's what I learned from this Master Yogananda Paramahamsa's book. Even Rajinikanth talks about that, because Baba Avatar even trained Mukteshwar and Mukteshwar, Lahiri Mahasya, and then finally to Yogananda. He was a strict teacher. He said, if you don't like my teaching, get out, he used to tell. I think Dr. Badrinath was like that. The students have to accept that. I know nowadays students don't like it. They even feel like what do you call depressed so quickly, which I think they have to learn that endurance to take. Even somebody corrects, you should take it.
Thank you so
I
much,
think
sir.
one important message, Santosh and Vardhaman, as Nati said. See, I want to tell even the postgraduates, they want to come, they want to have a white collar job. They shouldn't have taken up medicine, I would say. Okay? They come at 9 o'clock, they want to leave at 5 o'clock, and even practice if you can't do that anymore. Okay? You are, see, what I'm trying to say is, here, what Nati said is, work is not going to kill you. Work will not kill you. In fact, an idle mind is going to kill you. The other way around. If you keep on working, work with passion and work with compassion and commitment and sincerity, and you will do well, you will enjoy even at the end of the day. Just know I came late because I was having patience till 9:10. Okay, even at the end of the day, I was answering all the patients, and patients were also asking the same question to me. How come at the end of the day, sir, you started this early morning 6 o'clock surgery, and 9:10 you are finishing, and still you are answering, you are very kind and very sweet, and you're smiling end of the day. Because you are passionate, you enjoy what you are doing. That's what Nati is doing. He's enjoying what he is doing. If you don't enjoy what you are doing, then you will show it up on another person. You'll show your frustration on somebody else. Okay? And that is what will happen. And that positive vibes should come from you. And unless you enjoy your life and enjoy what you are doing, and the passion, all the basic things, the passion, I feel.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Very true, sir.
Swami Chinmayananda says, if I rest, I rust. And for me, I tell, if I take rest, I become restless.
Correct.
Yes, very few, very new things and virtues we learn from you, sir.
It is very inspiring for all our new generation and for us also.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all. Really great. And
Even after 2.5 hours, we are not become this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can keep
we're
on talking
really
about it.
enjoying.
Dr. Mandar sir is also there. Dr. Mandar sir, would you like to
Yeah,
ask
Mandar, anything you want to
question?
add?
Arul
Yeah,
is
no, I
Thank
just want to say, I just want to express my feelings for Dr. Natarajan sir with one word: transcendental. And I'll just explain what this transcendental is. So he's a transcendental human being. First of all, we know his qualities. I don't have to repeat his excellent qualities. The most important is he has transcended the medicine from classes to masses. So he has literally spread his acumen from the topmost class of the society to the bottommost class of the society, which is something very unique and which is what is required by all of us. And the third reason I say is transcendental is because of his friendship across the globe. He has transcended boundaries and all the whatever artificial sort of restrictions or boundaries that we all have. So he is truly a transcendental human being, which is very rare. And I think we keep on learning from you every time we interact with you. We keep on learning from these interactions, and I think we are fortunate to have somebody like of your stature as a member of our society, our state association, as well as the All India Ophthalmic Association, and it's an honor that you are keeping the Indian flag flying high at the international level, which in itself is a huge achievement. So I wish you a very healthy, long life, and I also wish you a very happy new year.
Thank
And
you.
I pray to God for all the success that you desire for. Thank you so much.
One thing I want to tell, Arul has come back.
Yeah.
Arul was a karate black belt in school itself. So in the third, fourth year, I think as a student secretary, somehow I wanted to make an auditorium and landed up with a transition between DMK and ADMK, and landed up with some difficult people, and finally ended up in strike, with which I didn't want. And then I had to literally resign that time. And then when I came back, the whole college was almost about to hit me, and Arul was the supporter for me, in the sense like a bodyguard, and didn't allow anybody to come near me, because really, literally, they wanted searching with the two truckload.
Even I wanted to hit you. What Arul? Because only he prevented me from meeting him.
Yeah.
I remember that day very well.
Yeah.
Go to Vardhaman, please.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you, sir. And first of all, thank you to Dr. Nati, sir, for being here and for giving us this amazing opportunity, of course, for being the kind of legend that you are. But for the rest of the official word of thanks, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Aditi, Secretary of Scientific Committee, to do the honors. Over to you, Aditi.
So, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Natti sir for being a part of MOS Legion series. We are really honored to have you here, sir. The life pearls and clinical pearls were really inspiring and will be surely a guiding light for generations to come, I would say. Thank you, Dr. Arun Moli sir, Dr. John Prakash sir, Dr. Mohan Rajan sir, and Shivanand sir for sharing their experiences and memories. We got to know Nati sir like more in detail as a student, friend, ophthalmologist, leader, a true legend, and most importantly, a wonderful human being. So I would really thank all of you for being a part of this series to share your experiences about Dr. Natarajan sir. Thank you, Dr. Agarwal sir, Dr. Kadane sir, Paramspe sir for being there. Uh, Thank you, Team Entor and the technical team, Mr. Rahul Jain, for the glitchless webinar. And obviously, thank you, Vardhaman, for conducting this in a very interesting and interactive way. I would like to thank all the audience who have joined us on different streaming things. So thank you all and wish you a very happy new year.
And
Thank you.
And thank you, Aditi, yourself also.
yeah, thank you, Aditi. And Aditi is my daughter's name. I told that. And 1st January is Arul's birthday. Happy birthday, Arul.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you, thank you.
Arul.
Happy birthday, sir.
I wish you happy new year to all of
New
you.
Year to everybody.
Happy birthday,
Happy
sir.
New Year to all of you from
in
Washington.
advance.
Thank
Arul,
you,
happy
John.
birthday and happy
Thank you.
New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Nati, I see you this week. Arul, you
Yes.
can also join on first.
Sure thing, sure thing,
I
sure
will
thing.
tell you. I'll let you know. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
And
Dr.
good
Nati.
night.
Thank you,
Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Dr. Natarajan sir, Dr. Nati sir, Dr. Arul sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nati, keep inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohan. Thanks a lot. Yes. Thank you, Arul.
Thank you, Nati.
Yes. Thank you, Mohan. And good one.